Hey everyone, welcome to Amberg Acres. So we're getting back at it. We need to get the siding on. So first thing we got to do is wrap it. I'll show you a couple things here. Last couple days I've been putting this trim on down on the bottom. There's a piece of metal trim and your siding sits right on top of that, and that keeps anything from going up underneath. The other thing I did, let me see if I can move you around here a little bit. Right up at the top here, I added another 2x4 at 10 feet. These rolls are 10 feet long. So if I didn't put that other piece there, I would be stapling right here on this one right here. And I added that one there so that I'm stapling the top of the paper right up here at the top. And it's really helped out. It's made a huge difference. So if you look down it, we got her pretty darn tight and straight. There's a few wrinkles in it, but not bad. And I'll show you the other thing I did here. I got a pipe inside that tube, okay? And I put a little plate on there. And it's not working as good as I thought it was. It should be round. It should be the same shape as the roll, and it would work better. I made it square. I thought, you know, once I had one side the full roll length, and then I had the other side a half a roll, and then I had the sides here at about a quarter of a roll. And I thought that would help, you know, but the problem is it doesn't just slide down, okay? It wants to hop off of there all the time, and it's not working quite like I want it. I mean, it works, it's helping, but it's not quite what I had intended. If I were going to do it again, I would make that a round plate. So we'll see here. We got to put a second piece up above, a 6-foot piece up above. So we'll see how it works for that, and we'll get to that later. But we're going to move on here. We're going to come around the corner here and go to our next pole. So what I've been doing is going from pole to pole. So we're going to go to that pole next. And I'll show you how I set the ladders up there and do that. So right now I have this first ladder. It's leaning up against the pole, and I have a little bracket I made up on top that's screwed in up there. So I'm going to move that ladder down to the next pole, and I'm going to bring the other ladder over on the top of this here so I can get that bracket out. So now when I come down here with the roll, this ladder is actually holding the roll in place until I can get up there and get that bracket put back on. So here's the bracket. That's all it is a bent piece of metal, and I stick it in a tube on top and then screw this into my post up there, and that holds the top in place so that it doesn't just fall over on me. So I thought that this plate would stay stationary and the roll would just roll on it. And it's not. The plate is actually rolling, which is fine. But being square, it makes it a little bit of an issue. And it hops off once in a while. So that's why I say a round plate would work a lot better, I think. So maybe before I do the other side, I might change that. But we'll see. We'll see what the weather brings. The other thing I could do that might help is put some kind of another bracket on there that I can screw into that board here, this bottom board, and then it won't move. It comes loose all the time, so I got to keep coming over here and kicking it and getting it, you know. getting it tight, and then it stays for a little bit, but as soon as the wind picks up a little bit, it comes loose again. But that's how we're doing it. So what I have for the second section is 6 foot. So I'm going to cut this roll, or the other roll. I'm going to cut down to 6 feet, and then I have a thing that I made, a little bushing that goes on this pipe that's inside here, and that'll hold that up at the 6 foot mark. And we'll just do the same thing, you know, come down, come all the way around. We got 3 sides. We're on our 3rd side here. So if you look through the garage, I started over there by the garage door, and I'm all the way around, and now I'm to here. And hopefully that'll get me to the garage door, but we'll see. All right, so we're gonna go up and just start stapling this in. I'm just using a staple gun like this here. I do have the hammer thing, but the hammer thing is kind of hard to sit there and hold the plastic and swing the hammer and hold on to the ladder at the same time. So this works much better. The problem is, I'm only putting in about a 1/4 inch staple. That's all this thing can push into the 2x4s. It's not very good. It's, you know, the word cheap comes to mind, but I've had this for years, and it's fine for doing certain stuff, you know, in the basement or wherever, you know, little projects, but for this kind of job, it's kind of over its head, you know. But we'll get her done. And I have on the other side there, when we were down on the other end there, the wind was blowing a little bit. So I was going back with the hammer one, and then I can shoot a bigger staple in there. And after I had it stapled in with this, then I was going back and putting in a few of the longer staples. But this stuff's pretty tough. It seems if you screw up and you want to pull it off a staple, it doesn't just pull right out. So I'm thinking it'll be okay for a day or two till I can get the metal on. It's almost impossible not to get a few ripples. Unless you got about 2 guys on the end here, one at the top pulling on it tight, one at the bottom pulling on it tight, and another guy stapling. It's almost impossible to get it without having a few wrinkles in it. I got a big wrinkle starting right here on the other side of the ladder, but whatever. Maybe it'll straighten it out once we get down and pull it again. So this here is the hammer style stapler that I was talking about earlier. And I smashed my pinky with it earlier because I was trying to hold it and I went like this here and just hammered my finger. So I stopped using it for that reason. But it works pretty good. Just gotta make sure your hand's not in the way. And that's it, folks. So we got the first layer of wrap on. I'm gonna get set up for the second layer, and hopefully Barb is gonna be coming back. She's babysitting right now, so hopefully she'll be coming back, and we can get that second layer on, and then tomorrow I can start hanging some siding on this side of the barn. I think we did okay. A couple of wrinkles, but other than that, you know, it is what it is. Like I always say. Doing it yourself, you know. She was out here earlier helping me get started, and we got about halfway down that wall there, and she had to go, you know. So I get it, you know. But we'll keep going on this, and I will turn the camera back on when we get going on the other side, and I make sure I got everything working properly. Okay, this is the setup for the upper roll. So I cut a roll in half. So this is 5 feet now, and it overlaps. And I used the same pole that I was using before that I had inside that other tube, but I got a little bushing right here, and that holds that piece up. So it's only that the pipe is only inside that roll, you know, so much. Down here on the bottom is sitting on that plate on my trim piece, and I made a little strap there to help hold that on because it likes to hop off. So I made a little strap there to hold that on. And that's how we're doing it. So the issue I'm having with this setup is when I cut that roll, that plastic melted. So now it doesn't want to unroll decent. So I'm getting a little bunched up there. I'm gonna have to, when I get to the corner here, I'm gonna cut it, and then I'll just overlap a little bit. But I gotta figure out something on the end there to make that unroll better, because it's not unrolling decent up there because it's melted. The pieces are melted together from cutting it. So I'll figure that out, and then we'll get going on the rest of the building here. Very frustrating because the ladders don't seem to be able to reach where I want them to reach ever. And then if I set it on that top board, then I can't get my wrap up underneath it, you know. So it's very frustrating at times trying to position these ladders and get them in the right spot for doing this. It didn't help that some idiot put a sand pile right here next to the building. Well, that piece was a little challenging, but we got it up there. So I'll just I'll just pull it tight around the corner and then I'll overlap on that side. I got to figure out how to get that roll to start unrolling properly, because it's tearing. It's not going to matter, but it's tearing up on the top there. And I don't want that to keep going that way, because it'll just get worse as I go. So I got to figure that out, and I'll be back later. So I don't like the way this is turning out here. I don't have nothing to staple that material to, and yeah, the siding will kind of push it up and tuck it up under that metal trim. But for right now, it's just sitting here flapping in the wind. So I cut a bunch of 2x4s here, and I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna hang them up and get them in place so I have something to staple this plastic to up on top there. And it'll also give us another place to screw the metal in. You know, I know it's tucked up underneath that metal trim, but it'll give us a better place to screw the metal in. And it sounds like Pablo's coming next week, so then we'll be putting up the tin. The concrete guys are coming tomorrow to start working on the concrete. All right, guys. So I got up here yesterday and I finished that top board. I put a top board on there all the way across, so I had something to staple this wrap into, and it was kind of a struggle. So I didn't really film it. I was doing it myself, and all the boards I cut, they were all the wrong size because I screwed up my calculations. I forgot to subtract the 1.5 inches for the truss, and so they were all 1.5 inches long. I had to go bring them back down, go carry them over there, saw them, take them back up, and so I didn't film any of it, but you get the idea. I got that all stapled in up there now, so there's something to screw the panel to, and there's something to staple that wrap it, the block, this stuff to, and so that's gonna be it for this video. We got Pablo coming this week. He's gonna help me get some of these panels hung up. Concrete's going to be poured today. They're supposed to be coming here in a little bit. So we're going to end this video here, and we'll have the concrete and then we'll have the panels coming up. So stay tuned. There will be more videos coming out. If you like these videos, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. It's free to subscribe. It doesn't hurt you to do it. And we'll catch you on the next one.